And so it begins.
Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a hero, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a mighty broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with a righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and said, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one Murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed it does. This is Blue Please here on a WoW Radio with myself, TotalBiscuit. Welcome to the show. Yes. Now, as some of you may or may not be aware, I'm lacking content this week. Why am I lacking content? Have I been lazy? No. Has my content team been lazy? Absolutely not. Why am I lacking content? I've literally run out of ideas. I've actually run out of things that I want to talk about at this point in time. I spent all of last week talking about the Anchorage war effort, which was pretty much the major thing brought into the patch, and a few other things about costumes and all that kind of stuff. But, to be honest, I thought to myself this week, while at work, because at work is a very good time to actually think of things to say, because when you're serving customers, blah blah, here you can have the Crazy Frog racing game, you're a terminal retard for buying it, but you can have it anyway. It's like, what can I talk about on this week's show, other than the stupidity of people who do that? Also the stupidity of people who bring back a Nintendo DS with a smashed LCD screen and a big dent in the top, and then claim it came like that in the box. Yeah, whatever. And I honestly drew a blank. I really did. I can't think of anything. The war effort is progressing, the patch is settling in, they fixed that awful mess of a hotfix. Wow. I mean, what are they playing at there, has to be said. That was an interesting experience. I log in and everyone is warping around. It reminded me a little bit of PlanetSide all those years ago. Oh well, never mind. It's all sorted now, it all works, it's all good. Yeah, so I actually couldn't think of anything. I mean, this week I've been doing Molten Core, I've been doing Blackwing Lair. I'm still trying to get my Onyxia chain finished because it's a really annoying set of quests, and people just can't be asked to help me kill the big red dragon, which is fine. That's cool, but it will get done at some point. Also, the Hexar's cover needs to drop more often. Let me make that absolutely clear. If I'm going to spend 5.5 hours in Zul'Gurub, I want the blinking cover. Yeah. No, we got Jindo's bag of whammies, which is just not all that great, has to be said. Oh well, never mind. So, our guild killed Razorgore today. I was pleased with that. We haven't managed that one before. I unfortunately wasn't there to see it, but I imagine it was quite good. So we did get him down, and we got 2 Storm Rage Bracers and the Black Book, which was sharded. Yeah, we sharded our first Blackwing Lair loot. Awesome. That's the way to go. So we go through and have a look at the big red dragon known as Vale, and he kills us repeatedly. Interesting fight, though, has to be said, although it does tend to involve being burned alive a lot. Yeah. So that's as far as we've got in Blackwing Lair. There's not all that much to talk about there, has to be said. So, what I thought to myself, I'm going to open up the floor. Open up the floor, and you lot can actually send me questions, topics, stuff to discuss. What do you want to hear? What do you want me to talk about? I'm going to start with what I was sent first, which was from Stinky Ricks. And he said this: TB, I'm not sure if you've covered this in your past shows, but I'm sure we've all experienced it. Guild drama. My guild has been going through a lot of this lately. I was wondering what your opinions are on it and if you could cover it during the show. Okay, let's start with that. It's good a topic to start on as any. Why not? Right, guild drama. Okay. As we all know, guilds are large groups of people, and large groups of people are rather vulnerable to breaking out into fits of bitching, which is unfortunate, but it is just the way the human mind works. They can't get along with anyone for too long. I don't know, I think it's in the genes. If you get along with someone for too long, you have the urge to have an argument with them. It's a perfectly healthy thing to do, but guild drama is something that no doubt we have all experienced. I personally have experienced it. I, in fact, left my guild twice, actually, over guild drama. Won't go into that, but yeah, needless to say, it wasn't very pleasant. And it happens. A lot. Now, it can have an impact on various things. Not only does it impact morale, but it also impacts teamwork and instancing. I remember guild drama happening down in Molten Core with one of my previous guilds. We'd wipe on a boss and we'd spend half an hour blaming each other for it, whereas we could have rezzed up, buffed up in 5 minutes and given it another try. Guild drama can be a bit of a kick in the ass. What can you do to prevent it? The simple answer is it's very, very difficult. What I've experienced recently in my new guild is that the best way to kill guild drama is to have a strong leader. And when I mean strong, I mean strong. I mean, he is the only one you listen to. Thou shalt listen to me, or thou shalt be kicked out of the guild. Now, a benevolent dictatorship is not necessarily the best way to run a guild, but it's the most efficient. This guy says jump, you say how high, and the job gets done. Successful guilds are often run in this manner. You have one extremely strong-minded leader who people are willing to follow. Why will they follow him? Because he gets them epics. You know, that's the reason to do it. And your guild progresses as such. Now, once you start expanding on that, is where the problems start. Democracy. An interesting puzzle that really doesn't exist in this world. An elected dictatorship, an oligarchy perhaps. Not democracy. Democracy causes problems. Each and every person entitled to their own opinion. Each and every person's opinion equal. No more or no less valid than the last guy. How's that going to work? Now, in the real world, where your opinions are not necessarily effectual, you can say it. That's fine. You have the right to your opinion. I don't necessarily agree with what you say, but I'll defend to your death the right to say it, etc., etc. That's fine. In a guild, people usually get the mistaken idea that they have more sway than they really do. A lot of people want control, they power grab. They want to be able to influence the guild and twist it to their own designs, whether they be for good or evil. Guild drama will inevitably occur in this situation. Now, what you will generally find with guild drama is that it will be spurred on. There will be a catalyst somewhere. And generally speaking, the catalyst actually involves high-end content. You don't get a lot of guild drama when you do a 5-man strat run. That's fine. When you do a 40-man Molten Core run, things start to get nasty. Now, this is amplified by the fact that Molten Core in itself is not an easy instance, especially not for people who have just started doing it. Wiping on trash, frequently I might add, getting big repair bills and not really getting anywhere, is, and can be, a breaking point for many guilds. It causes guild drama. I remember the first few times we went into Molten Core. We cut our way down to Lucifer, wiped on Lucifer repeatedly, we came out with big repair bills and no epics. That caused guild drama. People questioned, why are we in there in the first place? I want to go and do this. Screw you all, meh, meh, meh. People leave the guild, all that kind of crap. As soon as Lucifer goes down and we see the epics, ooh, everyone wants to go into Molten Core now because we can get epics. Yes. But then, problems don't stop there. Oh no, oh no. Problems start again in the distribution of the epics. What system will we use? We started off just actually rolling for it. It's like, if you don't have this epic, you can roll for it. If you do, you can't. So people roll for epics, and we get a guy with 4 epics, and a whole bunch of guys with no epics, because he just happens to be good on the dice roll. Drama starts there. This isn't fair. I've been in the instance just as much as he is, and yet I've got no epics and he has 4. Okay, let's put a system in. Oh no, I don't want DKP. DKP is for hardcore gamers. It benefits people who play a lot more than me. Therefore, I don't want it. Or, you suck. You're casual. You're not providing and giving things to the guild. I want epics. Therefore, DKP is a good idea. No, let's create a new system. Or let's create halibut raid points. Oh, that doesn't actually work because it's based on complete and total bollocks. More drama. The irony with that was that when we were actually using this halibut raid point system, which is effectively a system in which you raid, you get points, you spend points to get rolls on the dice. So say if you had a 1 to 20 roll, you could buy numbers using the points. Now, it sounds good until you start getting silly rolls like the As You Song Mage Blade going to about 87. And the guy with 2 points wins over the guys with 22. Just because he happens to be luckier. Then it goes to hell. And again, guild drama is caused over there. Why did this guy roll? Oh, it's a point system, therefore you're allowed to roll. It's not so much that you're allowed to roll, it's should you be rolling. And guild drama can occur that way. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm noticing a pattern here. Guild drama is often caused by epics. It's caused by loot. Basic human greed. That's it. That really is often what it boils down to. Loot drama. People bitching over who gets the epic loot. That's what I'm going to say in guild drama, to be honest. It's not that all drama staves from epic loot. No, far from it. It doesn't. That's just not the case. Guild drama can occur for various reasons. Clashing egos. Often a very good way of doing it. You'll find that people, when brought together, find people that they just don't get along with. They can't get along with. They don't like them. And that happens. That can cause guild drama, but usually it just causes personal drama between one or two people. That's fine. When the whole guild is split up and up in arms over something, then guild drama. What are they usually split over from? Loot. Loot. Where do you get your loot from? You get it from Molten Core. Neck. That simple, really. Loot causes hassle. Everything else just breaks down from there. DKP drama, boss killing drama, lack of success in instance drama. Where does it all stem from? Epics. I did most certainly say epics. There we go. Epics are the cause of drama. And it's not very pleasant. Oh no. Right, for those who don't realise, this is an open show. We'll call it Open Please today. If you want to submit a topic for discussion, you can do so. Stinky Ricks submitted guild drama, which is what I've just talked about. So if you have something you want me to talk about, anything at all, then send it over. And no, I will not be discussing gay Wookiee sex as Andreas Farillo, so I'm not even going to say it. So yes, get it over my way. Now, I'm going to rule out one thing and one thing alone, and that is silly class balance. I've already got 3 topics saying, ooh, who would win, Pally versus Shaman? How should I know? My bloody Shaman's level 25 and my Paladin's level 8. No class balance. No, none of that crap. And don't get me on the mages either, because you know how much I ramble. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Knight Rider. Why not? Enjoy. You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be alarmed. A cynical Brit has been allowed on the air with a microphone. You will listen, or the kitten we have hostage will be forced to fight a giant badger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Blue Please. Enjoy. Wow.
Radio.
Yes, indeed, the sounds of Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire. No, it was not actually requested to Lito, although it was dedicated to him and his terrible, terrible sense of pitch. I could be really, really unpleasant now, but nah. Right, okay. Now, the theme of today's show is you submit questions and topics for discussion. Whether you want to send a quick-fire question or a big topic that I can talk about for a while, it's your call. Send it my way. themurloc@gmail.com is the place to go. themurloc@gmail.com. So, before I go on, a few bits of information about the website. The forums are back up and running, for those who do not know. Yes, I know it says on the website the forums are not up and running. They are! Click the forums button at the top of the screen. We're using vBulletin at the moment. Whether or not it will stay that way, I really do not know. We shall see. But the forums are back up and running, and they're a good community. They're a nice place to visit. Compared to the general forums, they're like Eden, Paradise, and Nirvana, and all that kind of stuff put together. Yes. It's that good, folks, in comparison. So get in there. Get involved. The other thing is we have a new BlizzCon video. We have got a whole bunch of footage from BlizzCon all sorted now, and we are editing it down and getting some movies up there. The first of the movies to go up there, besides my video diary, is the hotel room scene, which is a little bit interesting, to say the least. So go and download that. The link's on the front page. It's a bit scary. Slanic's Oh Really Plain does feature. Yes. Right. Now, a few quick-fire questions before I get on to some meatier topics. Quick-fire questions. Ian, is that Besk? Yes. Besk asks this. If my guild is declining and dying, and everyone is jumping off the sinking ship, to put it metaphorically, should I stay until the guild completely disbands and just lays over and dies, stay with it and have the pride of saying I stayed with the guild until the very end, or leave right now and go find one that might be better and have nicer people in it, that aren't always leaving every day, and everyone might be not as close? Right. Yeah, leave. The guild is dying. Staying in the dying guild is not a good idea. Just end it. Put it out of its misery. You know, if you were really close to these people, then they wouldn't have left the guild in the first place. Either that, or they'd have left the guild and formed a new one that you can go and join right there. If you're friends with people, go and join your friends. Go and play with your friends. If you're not friends with the people, then go and just start again. Get into another community. It's not that hard, really. You know, generally speaking, there are quite a lot of nice people out there. Yeah, sure, there's loads of idiots, but you will find quite a lot of nice people out there. Just go out there, find another guild. That simple. But don't let it drag on. Don't get all sentimental about it. At the end of the game, end of the day, it is just a gaming guild. It's not your family. Alright. Wow, ranting on gold signing. I can probably do that later. Let's try one of these. Right, Sushi says this. The other day, I read an article in USA Weekly about a power leveling service for WoW. I had to laugh that they would even print the article. It was practically advertising the website, which I will not name, even though the headline said, "Is it cheating?" What do you think about this kind of stuff? Surrendering your account to underpaid Asian workers who will power level your character for you. Apparently, people are making good money off this, so it seems a lot of people value their time more than their money. They are willing to spend real cash as opposed to time playing the game. Can this problem be solved? What kind of people would pay out their money and give someone else their personal account information in order to have their characters played for them? Okay. Right. Let me try and find the price of a level 1 to 60. Let's see. Where's the ads? Now, Google ads are very good for this kind of thing. They always come up with loads of crap like this. They really do. You go on any Warcraft site, anything with Google ads, it's like, gold selling, gold selling, gold selling. Let's look. Look for WoW power leveling service. Can't be that hard to find. Power leveling. One-handed typing for the lose. Low price power leveling. World of Warcraft leveling service. 24/7 support. Blah, 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 blah. Wow, an honor killing service. That sounds a bit dodgy. Non-stop 1 to 40 power leveling. No, let's find... I want 1 to 60. There we go. Yeah, right. There is a power leveling service that will level your character 0 to 60 with 600 gold for $330. Right. How long does that usually take? Now, bearing in mind that I level quite slowly, and I did, it took me around, let's see, 10, 15 days of playtime to get to level 60. Let's get the calculator out, shall we? So, bearing in mind that we're talking 24 hours here, let's just say 10 days for the sake of argument. 10 times 24 is 240. Now, I want you to divide that, $330, by 240 hours. That's $1.37 an hour. That's how much you'd be paying. Now, it was an interesting point that Sushi made there. People value their time more than their money. Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Because time is money. Let's bear it in mind. It really is. Time is money. I can go out and I can earn, you know, without any qualifications, I could walk out there, go to McDonald's and earn, what, $10 an hour? This power leveling service costs me 8 times less than that. So while my character's being leveled, I can go and do that. If I like. Yeah, people do value their time more than their money. As far as the service goes, though, is it cheating? Okay, let's play moral, shall we? First moral thing I would have to say is that if you are paying for power level service, you've also got to bear in mind who you are paying. You are not giving money to poor, poverty-stricken Chinese farmers. You're not. It's not. Look, power leveling is not a charity. Neither is gold selling. That's what they should do. They should actually set up a charity where they get these guys, you know, take them out of the sweatshops, put them in a nice environment, you know, with air conditioning. They feed them a couple of meals a day, and they actually get paid all the money. Whereas now, with these companies, that's not what's happening. They're getting, what, $1 a day? Whereas their services, as far as this power leveling goes, cost over $1 an hour. So that makes no sense. Despite the fact that, you know, $1 a day is nothing. Absolutely nothing, and you're well aware of that. Yet, there are big companies, and where do they live? Oh, Western, yes. Most of them are, in fact, based in America, making a heck of a lot of money out of this. So, if you buy gold, and some of you probably have, you've got to bear in mind what you've just done. You've just supported what is effectively slave labour. It's the same as people who boycott stuff like Nike and Adidas. These companies who have been accused in the past of running sweatshops and having trainers made by, you know, small 6-year-old boys with their hands sewn together, their feet chopped off and all that kind of thing. It's the same reason people boycott these kind of companies. Absolutely same principle. Just happens to be a video game. You think, oh, it doesn't matter. There's no physical item involved. Yeah, but there's physical labour involved. You're supporting a corrupt industry, and that's just not on. Is it cheating? Debatable. Bearing in mind that WoW requires no skill, I'm not even going to argue about it, I'm just going to say it now. Getting to 1 to 60 requires very little, if no skill whatsoever. You could do most of it in your sleep. Is it wrong to pay someone to get you to level 60? Is it the same as having an aimbot in Counter-Strike? Can you compare it? Right, what does an aimbot do? An aimbot is a substitute for skill. It makes you appear more skilled than you really are, because it aims for you. Now, if 1 to 60 required significant skill, it required you to be a really good player, then maybe I could accept that. However, it doesn't. Any nutter can get to level 60. It's not all that hard. It just takes time. Now, if you substitute in the argument time for skill, is it cheating to effectively have something which creates time for you? You know, it avoids the need for you to use your time by having someone else do it for you. Interesting. Is it wrong let's just forget that it's a whole corrupt industry. Let's say it was a perfectly legitimate industry, and people were working for reasonable fees in nice offices and had job security, you know, dental plan, nice perks, you know, maybe a staff discount on gold. Would it be wrong then? Would it be cheating? I'd like to cite, if I may, the example of Guild Wars. Another game, of course. You can get to a maximum level 20 in Guild Wars, yet you can start a character at level 20. He won't be as good, and you may not know how to play him as well, but you can have him. You can have a level 20, or you can start at level 1. And you will gain knowledge about your class as you play, better items, and a whole bunch of other things. So you'll be better if you actually level 1 to 20. Does the same principle apply here? Possibly, yeah. Now, I was donated at one point an account by a friend of mine. He said, can you hold on to my account while I leave the country or whatever? Yeah, sure, I said. I'll do that. That's fine. I've got no moral problem with that, even though it's technically against the rules. You can't, you can't use someone else's account. It's account sharing. Well, I don't really care, to be honest. He wants me to look after his account, you know, make him mooncloth every 4 days, transmute an Arcanite bar, maybe get him a few items. That's fine. I've got no moral problems with that. And it was a Warlock. And I thought, right, okay, that'll be easy. So I sat down, and I started playing this Warlock, and I sucked! Why? Because I didn't know how to play the class. It wasn't due to a lack of skill, it was simply due to a lack of knowledge. You can't skillfully press the Shadow Bolt button, but you don't know how you're playing the class. So, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Well, you learn the class. What does it take? Time. So, if you were to get a 1 to 60, if you were to be given something like that, like I was, given a level 60 Warlock, what would you do? Is it cheating to be given that? No, I don't believe it is. As far as I'm concerned, 1 to 60 is a means to an end, or a means to an end game would be more appropriate. Why do people play the game? You'll find that some people just play to have a laugh. That's cool. Those people may never get to 60. They just may play, 30 minutes a day, have fun, quest, maybe do a little bit of PvP, play with their friends, that's fine. But the rest of them are going for level 60. Why? Because that's where the interesting things begin. That's where you get to kill big 40-man raid dragons. You get to venture into instances and do really dangerous stuff. So, the fact that you've already bypassed the 1 to 60 grind, is it relevant? Not necessarily. Do you have the right to play the game as you want? If I only wanted to play end-game content, which at the moment is exactly all I want to do with this game, is it wrong for me to skip straight to that? Do I disadvantage anyone by it? I don't necessarily disadvantage anyone, do I? If I had my character power leveled, then hey, here's a priest, I want a 60 priest, please. That'll be $350. Yep, that's fine. Is it cheating? It's a good question. It's a morally ambiguous area that I honestly cannot make a firm decision on. Now, whereas my gut instinct says that's wrong, my head's telling me why. Why is it wrong? What advantage do I gain over other people? I mean, everyone else is 60. Just so I have a 60. Do I gain an advantage over people? No, I don't. If I was unfairly buying epics, for instance, with ill-gotten cash, that's an advantage. If I'm the first person on the server with an epic mount because I bought 1,000 gold for my gold farmer, that's an advantage. If I'm wearing full... Let's just assume for a moment that Tier 2 was bind on equip. I'm wearing full Tier 2 armor with a big fat epic weapon. That's an advantage. Being level 60? No. Because you're not competing with anyone below level 60. Because there's such a massive gap. There's such a massive jump between 59 and 60 that it's not a competition. All you've done is bring your character level-wise to the same degree as everyone else. Doesn't mean you can play it, doesn't mean you know how to play the class, because you haven't been playing the class. You don't know the tricks. You don't have the knowledge. And you certainly don't have the equipment. Way, level 60, I'm wearing whites and greens. Brilliant. Yeah, that's going to help, folks. So, as controversial as it may seem, I'm going to come to this conclusion, that power leveling is not cheating. Why? Because the definition of cheating is to give yourself an unfair advantage over an opponent without using your own personal skill to do it. It doesn't give you an unfair advantage. Why? Because you're competing with level 60s. Being a level 60 does not make you competitive. No. It's only the first step on a long, long ladder to success. And power leveling will not get you up that ladder. That's my opinion on that one. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. A little bit of Motorhead wouldn't go amiss, I don't think. As far as I'm concerned, Motorhead never goes amiss. No class. Enjoy. You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com.
Seems like everyone knows this from birth, but I don't, and I can't find it in the glossary either. What's the thing with a tank?
Current fear, foolish mortals, but it's I, the Murloc, come to take away your sausages and bathe in the tears of your children. The thing with the tank. You dwarves never make any sense, blithering, dumbfounded imbeciles that you are. The only use I've found so far for a dwarf is as a footrest, and even then they wiggle too much despite their ropes and chloroform. The thing with a tank, eh? That probably my butler, James. I sent him out to lever a small defenceless village for my amusement. Perhaps your house might be among them. Ah, yes, here it is. 21 Puny Mortals Avenue. Your home and its contents should be blown to pieces with high explosive rounds about, now.
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I have a question about army rankings. What are players doing to achieve private or corporal or sergeant?
Ah, yes, the wonderful world of army rankings. Is it possible to create a duller, more mundane question? I think not, but I have a team of scientists working on it right now. In the meantime, I suppose I'd better answer your question. Rankings are achieved by participating in the ganking system, which rewards senseless slaughter with fat loots. The flip side to this is the honor system, which punishes those who engage in fair fights and honorable play by banning their accounts and reporting them to the authorities. In order to gain private, you must participate in at least one gank. Any kind will do, and bonus points for killing a gnome. And to achieve corporal, you must kill at least one paladin. With a small army of around 25 or so, it should take you no more than a few days, as long as the paladin doesn't have any epics. Sergeant rank can only be attained by orchestrating a truly masterful ganking plan, involving venturing forth into dangerous areas such as Ashenvale and Stone Talon, with a fully equipped level 60 Night Elf rogue, and killing lobies who are fighting mobs. You must also master the use of the frayed lols, pwned noob, and own a collection of Baywatch posters. Haha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, when I look at the fish people, vile fins, all I see is blinding white light coming from them. Do you know why?
Fish people, you snivelling, insignificant peasant, bow to me and my lesser kin, for we have come to make you human slaves in a Murloc nation. Oh! Okay, that was a little disturbing. But nevertheless, you shall all die. Well, not so much die, we need you to be our slaves, so dying wouldn't really do all that much good, would it? I suppose we could kill you, then resurrect you as zombie slaves in a Murloc nation. Oh! Who the hell is doing that? It's incredibly distracting. Do you know who I am? I will slit your throat and fill it with beans before taking your shoes and throwing them into the septic tank while you're still wearing them. Yes, in answer to your question, the reason you're seeing blinding fish lights is because you've been eating drugs. Stop it right now.
Ask the Murloc.
Broadcasting across the world and round the globe for Azerothians everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, this is WoW Radio. Yes, questionable. Right! You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio, as we're calling it today. Open, please! Oh, yeah. Basically, you send me the topics and the questions, and I'll answer them, and I'll try and fill a show with it. We're doing well so far, 45 minutes in, and we've got plenty more emails to go. So, if you want anything to talk about, send it my way. Oh, yes. Right, here's a quick-fire one. Maximus Excommunicate, also known as Aegis, which is, quite frankly, a lot easier to pronounce. He's got a great email address as well, Fool of a Took. Fantastic. Anyway, the new troll racial, it was pretty underpowered before. I say that lightly, as I still found it fairly useful. Yeah, so did I. I quite like the troll racial, especially when grinding solo. You get hit by a mob, critical. Meh, yay, 25% extra casting speed. However, seeing as you also play troll, how do you find the new racial? I have a troll rogue, and for me the berserking costs 10 energy. For a rogue, that is quite a lot, and now I don't use it. Your opinions as a caster are welcome. Now, for a caster, it costs me 85 mana, which is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Whereas 10 energy is 10% of your energy bar. 85 mana is... it could even be 1% of some casters. More, for me, it's more like 2.5%. Something like that. I never was any good at maths. I liked English and music. That was more fun. But, yeah. I like it. I really do. It's interesting to use it in combination with stuff like Dark and Demonic Runes. I can hammer a Dark Rune, get some free mana back, and then hammer the Berserking button. Interesting feature of the new Berserking. If you get healed while Berserking is active, it stays casting at the same speed as the start. At least if it doesn't, I certainly haven't noticed the change. So, hammer one of them, you've got damage, buff yourself up with Berserking, and Rapid Fire. Increases your DPS, good for burst damage, good for instances, good for PvP, and there is no downside other than the mana and energy cost now. So, I like it. I'm a big fan of it. I was skeptical, I'll tell you that, but I'm impressed. I really am. Right. Okay. Can I talk about this topic? What topic, Magos? What? Do you think houses in WoW would be a nice piece of content? I came from Final Fantasy XI, and even older, a Mud Realm of Chaos, which both had the possibility of having a house. In my opinion, it would make the world seem more alive. It's a plus for our peers. Also, pretty cool to customize and collect furniture to dump in there. If you look at Final Fantasy XI, certain furniture would give you bonuses, less XP loss on death, resistance, better crit on certain elements, or have a neat function. Atlas shows full world map. What are your thoughts on that? Interesting one. I've discussed this many moons ago, but let's get back to it. Right, the big problem with player housing in WoW would be the simple fact that the world is too small. Really, it is. That's the problem. The world is too small. Now, places like the Barrens, yeah, have a lot of wasted space that you could possibly put a few houses in. But what if every player on the realm, 10,000 people, had a house? Where are you going to put them? Can you upgrade your house? Can you have a cottage, a bungalow, a large skyscraper, a can of beans with a roof? Good question. Where are you going to put them? Now, there's been an answer to this given. Instanced housing. However, I have a serious problem with that. Now, one of the big things that I think would be positive about adding housing to the game would be it would liven the world up a bit. You pass someone's house, ooh, they've decorated their house very nice, or ooh, that house sucks, blah, blah. If you have instance housing where you just go into an instance and all people's houses are there, well, why bother? It doesn't add anything to the world other than an instance portal. Now, that presents us with a rather large dilemma. If you want housing, where the hell are you going to put it? Would we have to create new areas, enlarge the map? Now, I personally don't have a problem with that. Enlarge the maps, get some free space, and then you can go, hey, right, I'm going to go build my house in the Barrens. Let's expand villages. Hey, Feralis, you know, Splinter Tree Post. You can have a house there. Expand the map a little bit. Make the villages actually purposeful. Why are most of these villages here? No one lives in them. They're just lifeless, pointless recharge points. You actually put some houses there, and then, hey, there you go. Where does everyone live in Orgrimmar? The capital city of the Horde, and there's about 3 houses in it. Population of about 50. Interesting. Now, I can see why people will want houses. It's a great idea. It's having something permanent on the map to call your own, making your mark on the server. It's a very alluring idea. I would love it. I would love my own house. That would be great. However, it's not going to happen. What might happen... Okay, we don't have space for houses. What about space for guild halls? That the richest, powerful guilds can create a guild hall. And, hey, let's just say that there is a amount of gold that has to be paid. So you don't have every little 5-man friendly guild making a guild hall and filling up the map. No, you make it reasonable to start having a guild hall, so you can start with just one room, and then you can expand it. Perhaps you could have guild wars. Hey! See what I did there? I stole another MMO's concept. Guild wars. Where you go and attack other guilds' holds, their castles, their forts, their guild halls. Perhaps you could gain honour that way. Perhaps you could damage it even, although that would possibly be griefing. What would be wrong with a guild hall? You know, a massive great castle in the middle of the Barrens. That's fine. There's plenty of space for that. You know, how many big guilds are there on every server that would be capable of building it? Maybe 30, 40, 50? Is that a bad thing? Do we have enough space for that? Maybe. Maybe we do. Maybe you can just cancel out mobs spawning. There are a lot of mobs just wandering around for no apparent reason. You build a guild hall there, the mobs are killed off. They can be moved elsewhere. Whatever. It's fine. Learn to play. Yeah, I'm thinking guild halls are the best idea, rather than houses. Player houses will get out of hand, there's not enough space for them. Guild halls, maybe. Now, housing can work in other games. Why? Because it's too big. No, sorry, it's too small. Other games are too big. WoW is a very small world. You may not have noticed, but to actually fly across a continent, it only takes about 15 minutes. It doesn't take a very long time at all. There is not a lot of wasted space in WoW at this point. Everything seems to have a purpose. Even the random spawns of mobs. Hey, they're quest mobs. That's fine. The continents, the areas, they aren't all that large. I suppose that's what you get for having a nice seamless world that you only have to load if you happen to be crossing continents. However, that also gives you a problem. If you want player-created content like that, you're going to have some space. We don't have any space. It's too small. Really. How many times have you... You know, seriously, if you mounted up and started running, can you honestly say that there's an area that you could ride across for a full minute and not encounter something that actually has some relevance to the world? Whether it be quest mobs, or a quest item, a quest location, another town perhaps. How long does it take to ride across the Barrens on an epic mount? A couple of minutes. How many free spaces can you see? And bearing in mind that it's a very large area, not all that many. So yeah, I disagree with the idea of guild housing on the basis of simple logistics. You can't fit them into the world. I disagree with instance housing because that defeats the entire point of the exercise. If I want to see player-created content on the map, I don't want to see it inside an instance. I have no interest in going into that instance to see other people's houses. No, this is not home and garden. I just want to see something out there in the world, making it look like it's alive. Putting something in an instance doesn't do that. That's my opinion on that particular one. Right, another quick-fire question. Hunters, why do we use mana? Surely energy or focus would make more sense, logically. Maybe, but then again, effectively, all you are, as a hunter, is a caster whose spells require a reagent, i.e. a bullet, as well as mana. So, effectively, what you're doing there, when you're auto-attacking with a wand. When you use an ability or casting a spell, you use a reagent, either an arrow or a bullet, and you use mana. Now, Yeah, if you energy or focus, energy recharges too quickly. You'd have to completely change the way the class works. You know how rogues work. You'd have to completely change the way a hunter works. Focus, just another word for mana, really, isn't it? It doesn't really matter what the actual unit is, whether it's mana, rage, energy, focus, beans. It doesn't matter. The principle remains the same. Whether it should be renamed just for the sake of argument, if you want to, that's fine. But I don't personally see the problem with it. Now, someone asks, can you give shout-outs today? Yeah, you can. Just send them over, themurloc@gmail.com. I am not really looking at my PMs right now. I get far too much every show. I mean, my PM box is filled to bursting point with crap. Really, it is. It's all over. And it always does every time I ask for shout-outs. So send your shout-outs to themurloc@gmail.com. I had a couple of shout-outs out. Shout out to Element Zero and Storm Rage, who's doing Zul'Gurub at the moment, about to take down Jeklik. Congratulations. Get to it. It's difficult, but it's doable, especially if you've only just got on there. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Get your shout outs in. Right. Now, people are always starting to respond to the whole gold farming thing. Julian says this: power leveling and gold buying is cheating in my opinion. Someone who is lazy or does not have the title level to 60 or to grind to money for an epic mount. Being lazy is not cheating. There is a blatant difference. Now, perhaps lazy people cheat, but the fact that I'm lazy, for instance, and don't go farm money all the time, which is the reason I don't have an epic mount, doesn't mean I'm cheating. If I were to buy gold for an epic mount, am I cheating? Effectively, yes, because I gain an advantage over people unfairly. However, power level at 60? I don't believe those are cheating at all. Julian says, it's only a good thing that Blizzard has banned those gold selling buying accounts. They are both cheating, even though you have to pay real money to get it. No, I disagree. I don't agree they are cheating. I agree they're against the terms of service. I agree they suck, they're morally stupid, and you're supporting an illegal business. That is not cheating, it's actually just breaking the law. The gold itself is the intellectual property of Blizzard. Blizzard says what you can and can't do with it, and you can't sell it. However, when it comes to power leveling, it's not selling gold, it's selling time. If someone buys an account, they are able to transfer it to someone else. They have to do it completely, they won't be able to access. But if your friend leveled the character to 60 and then gave it to you and said, okay, that's now your account, you're paying for it, it's your account, is that cheating? Is it the same thing? Of course it's the same thing, it just doesn't involve paying money to a gold selling company. Does that make it any different? The principle remains the same. Morally speaking, it's the same in-game principle, but one is morally wrong and perhaps one morally isn't. Is it justifiable to do that? Interesting discussion. I'm sure we'll get some more replies on that. Feel free to send it in, themurloc@gmail.com. A shout out to Katamari. No, I'm not going to say what he just said there. A shout out to the Muffin Master. That's her nickname. Welcome to the WoW universe. Oh, Lord. A response to guild halls, Chicago says, I think the guild halls would be great, but I think that there should be some definite thinking about it. I don't think there should be instants, nor should every guild be able to get them. Perhaps only the biggest 15+ guilds should be allowed to have one, but then everyone would join the big ones to be in the guild. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't penalise smaller guilds. If a guild can scrape up the cash for a small shack as their guild hall, then let them. That's fine. There's not all that many guilds that actually succeed on a server. All you really need to do is to make it difficult to build. Don't make it on size, just make it costly. A 5-man guild is not going to be able to gather 20,000 gold required to get a shack in the middle of the Barrens. No, they can't do it. So that is a natural barrier to them. Artificial barriers I disagree with. Give everyone the chance if they can get the money together. Anyway, Chicago goes on. So my thinking is that guilds that have no house may put up 100 gold to challenge a guild with a house to a 40-man guild war. The challenged house wins that 100 if they win, and you get the house if you win. You may only challenge once every 3 months, and no guild may be challenged more than once a week. Interesting idea, possibly. I'm thinking griefing is a little bit of a possibility here, though. What if, say, my 120-man Blackwing Lair farming guild, all epicked up to the max or whatever, says, hey, I don't like this guild, let's grief them. So, they leave the guild, they form another one, they challenge for the house, they win, they take the house, they sell the house. Ah, you've lost your guild hall. No, I disagree with that. I don't believe guilds should be allowed to lose their halls. I believe they should be able to be attacked, maybe damaged. But I think it should be more of an honour system thing. You should be rewarded for attacking it, not penalised if you don't. Penalised if you actually lose it. Not good. And P.S. Can you give a shout out to the Lowland Reapers on Dentag EU? Yes, I can. Shout out to Anarchy Bane, because he loves cannibalism. Oh, God. That we don't need. We don't need to hear that kind of stuff. Not on this show. We're a wholesome family show. Alex Trechev, shout out to my guild, Immortal Executus EU. They're on Sulfuron now. Go, guys, you can do it. And I'm sorry, I can't join you. Sulfuron's not that hard, but the bugged ads do get annoying. Can we shout out to Jamie Sperry, because he rules and he's an uber first-person shooter gamer? I've got images of Boom Headshot, FPS Doug, right now in my head. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I think Dragon Force is long overdue. Let's face it. It most certainly is. So without further ado, it's Prepare for War. Enjoy. You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com. Right, and sounds of Dragon Force and Prepare for War. This is Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Okay. More stuff on the gold selling topic. Yeah, interesting. Alright, let's see. About gold buyers, Aaron Cannon says this. I know a gold buyer in real life who bought 700 gold and has a stupid excuse. He says that it's nothing bad that he should buy it because other people buy gold or use bots. Also, he needs it to buy an epic mount. Or why don't you actually work hard for a certain item like everyone else? The guy's a total moron, and now he's making other people buy gold. When I explain to him it inflates and screws up the economy, that it's cheating, he says he doesn't care. It's this kind of people that piss me off, who don't care about the game or community and just F up the game because they suck too much. Yeah. Now, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, that is a really good reason to say no to gold selling. But that's not the issue, is it? It's power leveling that's the issue. I want to know what you think about power leveling services. Is it different to gold selling? If it is, why? Explain it to me. Let's see what you've got to say. Right, guild housing. Now, here's some interesting stuff. Nobunaga pointed out that actually inside the MPQ files there was a folder called Player Housing and various designs for housing things. So, it's coming. We just don't know how it's going to arrive. It'll be interesting to see. Now, Simon B has something to say on the guild housing subject. So, you can't have visible uninstanced houses because of space, and you can't have instant ones because it defeats the object. But what if you cross the two and have an instance that takes people to an empty field based on nearby town settings? And there they can build houses and such. To avoid possible lag of so many houses, there would be separate guild housing fields in the same style as Warsong Gulch 1, Warsong Gulch 2, and clicking each one would give information on the guild houses in the area. Again, same problem as far as I'm concerned. It's not part of the world. It's still an instance. It's an instance portal. I mean, splitting it up, even if it's not even one instance, I actually view that as worse, to be quite honest with you. So, Guild Housing 1, Guild Housing 2, well, that doesn't add anything to the world, does it? The houses and the guild halls are not in the world. They're in an instance outside the world. As far as the world concerns, they don't really actually exist. You can't walk past them in Orgrimmar. Indeed. Right, okay. Let's find another subject to talk about. And plenty been said. Quick fire question. Which horde race for a mage do you think is better, Undead or Troll? Troll. Why? Because of berserking. More DPS. End of story. Health regen's not too bad either. The rest of it's useless, but Troll. And they also look a lot cooler wearing a crimson felt hat. Let me point that out to you. Undead just don't look quite as good. What can I say? A shout out to Madal, who is overly tired and slightly tipsy, but still here. A shout out to Robin Hen. Can I have a shout out to my girlfriend Amelia for being the best in the world, and Anvil Beard for his silly name. Greetings from Morik Amin, the Venture Co. EU. A shout out to Aegis and Silicious on Anchorage Realm, leveling to catch up to everyone else. Indeed. Now, stop sending shout-outs to my PMs. Do not PM me. From now on, I'm just going to ignore any PM I get. I mean, my IRC window is already so packed I can't see whose name it is. So I've got a whole bunch of PMs here. I'm not going to read them after now. I'm not going to read them. So don't PM me anymore, just email themurloc@gmail.com. Anyway, Vasquez says a shout-out to the Defiance Brotherhood realm because it's such a goddamn good server. And to me, of course, because I generally rule. Vasca, always the modest one of the group. What can I say? Right. Let us see. Has anyone actually got something to discuss? I'm sure someone has. If you've got anything to discuss, send it over. themurloc@gmail.com. You've got another 45 minutes to get your voice heard. Let's see. Scroll down. Ah, there we go. What do you think about corpse camping in a PvP situation? This is from Raid. And do you ever do it yourself? Right. Corpse camping in a PvP situation. It can be lame, but it can also be very funny. Let me bring you a few examples. Corpse camping as revenge for ganking is a good use of corpse camping. By corpse camping someone, I'm stopping them from ganking other people. So say if a guy is wandering around, say level 6, he's wandering around in Ashenvale ganking people, I go up there, I kill him, and I corpse camp him. Why? Because everyone else can then get on with their quests in peace. That's a justified, as far as I'm concerned, revenge. You're stopping other people from playing the game by ganking people for no apparent reason. Therefore, I'm going to stop you from playing the game by corpse camping you. It's not griefing. Why? Because you can release. If I was camping both your graveyard and your corpse, then I'm griefing, and that is not allowed, as you will be well aware in the terms of service. You can't do that. People have got to have an option other than logging off. You can't stop people from playing. So, if I have to force someone to res at a graveyard and take the gold hit, cool. And they've also got 10 minutes where they can't gank someone. Even better. That's a justified use of corpse camping, and I'll admit to using it on many occasions. I will quite happily corpse camp a ganker. I won't corpse camp an alliance. You know, if I've just fought an alliance in a fair fight just for the hell of it, no, I will not corpse camp him. Why? Because it's pointless. I'm not PvPing for honor farming, I'm PvPing to have a good scrap. And I can't have a good scrap if I'm corpse camping. It's boring, it's dull, and quite frankly, it's not very nice. As far as a strategic tool goes, you've also got to bear in mind that corpse camping happens in world PvP. World PvP is generally not strategic. It's not strategic at all, because all it is just people encounter each other and then they fight. What's strategic about that? It's not planned. There are no great hills with battles going on and tactical strategic decisions. It doesn't happen. You run into someone and either you fight them or you don't fight them. That's as far as it goes. So you can't justify corpse camping on a strategic level there. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, as revenge for ganking, I can justify it. Our guild used to do that. They used to corpse camp people. If our guys were getting ganked, we would go and find the gankers, kill the gankers, and corpse camp them. I have no shame. I took part in it. I feel absolutely no regrets for doing that. They deserved it. They really did. It's not that we went around corpse camping people for no good reason. If you have a good reason for it, I'm all for it. If you don't do it. It's childish, it's immature, and let's face it, it's a bit dull. Right. Leto. The man we love to hate. What can I say? Talk about the current state of paladins. No, I won't. This is one area I never go anywhere near. And there's a reason for this. I'll talk about mage balance because I have a 60 mage. I like to think I do know something about the mage class. I'm not going to talk about paladin balance because my paladin's level 8. He doesn't know anything. I've looked through the paladin tree. The new improved paladin trees. And arguably improved anyway. And my conclusion is that they're still a little bit messed up. I mean, why is, say, increased chance to parry in the retribution tree, whereas it should be in the protection tree? Surely parry is a very useful tanking skill, a PvE skill. And yet it's in the retribution tree, which is supposed to be damage dealing and PvP. When was the last time you saw parry being useful against a mage? It's not. Let's face it. So why is it there? There are some weird things in the tree that still don't make a lot of sense. It's sort of the whole hybrid class thing. Now, I think the druid changes did it best as far as a hybrid class goes. They were reworked and I like them. The stuff that's in the trees makes sense. However, some of the stuff that's in, say, the shaman and the paladin trees makes no sense at all. Bear in mind, say, Stormstrike. Stormstrike, it gives you 2 extra attacks, does some damage, I believe, and makes the target susceptible to the next 2 nature damage dealing sources, increases the damage by 20%. Now, you'd have thought that would be in the elemental tree. Increases damage done by nature. It makes sense. It kind of like Ignite. Not Ignite. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Improved Scorch. The fire debuff that you can get from Improved Scorch is in the fire tree, because it makes it susceptible to fire. You'd have thought the one that makes it susceptible to nature would be in the actual nature-based tree, i.e. elemental. Is it in there? No! It's in enhancement. What's it doing there? Why is Manatide in Restoration a healing spec tree, where surely the more totem-centric tree is actually enhancement? It's a little bit messed up. Now, when anyone ever suggests that they should sort the paladin trees out, people go nuts, say, "Oh my god, they're buffing shamans, they're imber already." Cry more, nub. Really. Cry me emo tears. And Dustin will drink them. No. The fact of the matter is that hybrid classes are difficult to balance for that very reason. And if the trees are done incorrectly, then you're going to get some silliness going on. Just because you may view a class as imber for one reason or another does not give you the justification to say you can't sort the trees out. It's got to be done. Shamans need a rework. Paladins got a rework, but I don't think, in some cases, they got it right. Druids got a rework, and I do think they pretty much got it right there. It makes sense. You've got 3 very distinct trees, and all the talents work. Balance, Moonkin, the ultimate casting druid thing. If you want to be an offensive caster druid, you get your Moonkin form. That's great, and all the other talents serve to supplement that. Feral. Great rework. Fantastic. Really good stuff at the end of that. Leader of the pack, fantastic ability. It's all good. And the Restoration? Yeah, Resto Druid was never particularly bad in the first place. Now it's just as good. So you've got 3 very distinct. You can be a Balanced Druid, an offensive caster, a Feral Druid, someone who specialises in effectively shape-shifting, close melee combat, or you can be a Restoration, healing Druid. 3 very distinct trees for a very distinct class and talents which make sense. None of this storm striking enhancement bollocks. No. Absolutely not. Oh, good lord, I'm getting loads of stuff here sent through my mailbox. Never mind. Alright, Sandar says, "Hey TB, would you care to comment on the fact that you are listed as a famous EU forum poster on WoWWiki right above your best Paladin Fen replicant?" My comment is that WoWWiki can be sorted out by anyone, and anyone could have submitted that. It doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm really touched that one person in the world knows that I posted on the EU forums and actually decided they had the time to enter something in the WoW Wiki about me. But to be quite honest, that's all I've got to say about it. Does it matter? It doesn't really make a difference, does it? Right. Oh, Lord. Alex Paulson comes up with a topic for the ages here. What do you think about the PvP system? Is it flawed? Should dishonourable kills be removed? That is a topic that I'm going to save till next section, because I've only got a few minutes before I play some music anyway, and that I could spend hours on that topic. I'm sure I already have, in fact. Should there be an area where humans can talk... well, Horde can talk to Alliance? I'll make one brief comment on this. This is from Dark Matrix. Wants to know if there should be an area where we can actually communicate. Well, let me put it this way. I played a game called PlanetSide once. I've mentioned this many a time. It was PvP-orientated MMO first-person shooter. And everyone bragged at each other. It's like, you died, or whatever, and it's a case of, bam, I get a tell saying, Zomg, po noob, or I get a tell when I kill someone, OMG, you hack, or OMG, you suck, or OMG, you are Imber, you use Imber weapons, cry, more noob. That's the one justification I can see for never, ever, ever, ever allowing Alliance and Horde to actually communicate in anything more than emotes. Ugh. Keep it away, I say. Keep it away. You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Now, I've got a few more topics to cover. I will not be able to cover everyone's topic. There's too many. My mailbox is absolutely flooded right now. Keep them coming nonetheless. I'll try and get your shout-outs out to you. And I also have a rap in the forums to play after this musical diversion. I think I'm going to play a little bit of Iced Earth. The question is, what am I going to play by Iced Earth? There are many, many good tracks. Will I play my favourite? Yes, I will. Desert Rain. Enjoy. You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com. Yo, faux shizzle, and so forth. It's time for another edition of the one and only and horribly horrible Rap in the Forums. Oh yes, I rhyme horrible with horrible, I'm seriously street and bling and bring it on and so forth. Right, the idea of this segment is we take some of the worst, horrible, just disgustingly awful posts that we can find from the WoW official forums and turn them into raps. Because, obviously, that makes it all better. Yeah. Right. Okay, it's time for the first rap of the day. I don't even know what this is about. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's Hecklemeister, a level 1 forum alt from the realm Maelstrom. I see. Okay. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Heckle cries, wizard I can read, you knew? Alright, so, in an earlier post, Starting Hill told me to create a cry thing like Zong. Girls are to suck. Over the past 2 months, I started getting involved with 2 girls, not at the same time. One goes date, the other she leaves. And what do? They move. Both of them, that's just plain bad luck, but I blame my parents, so like I got the first season DVD of The Office, American, and guess what? It's only 6 episodes long, so like a good friend of mine has joined the wrestling squad at school, and now he just talks about getting fingered at practice and hanging out with those guys. Then there's this whole trolling thing I've gotten out of practice, and that dude, yeah, was like pissing me off, so I was like screw this, and then I stopped posting for a while when I talked to Ivy Lee. Now I'm playing AA. In AA there are kinds of dudes and are way better than me, and that's like stupid. I should be able to boom headshot to every single enemy. I've been sick last couple of days and have been totally capable of speech, so that sucks a lot. And now I'm sitting here and it's all my parents' fault and it's also Blizzard. Can someone please confirm that I am not a leech, but rather a helper or even leader of society? Question mark. Okay, thanks. I can't see the rest of the page because I've scrolled it down. Oh dear. Okay, thanks to your worst dotting and razorling. And everyone else that ever trolled me or tried or A-list as of late, your rank has gained even more digits. Okay, thanks editor. Heckles is not thought as is a manho. SP ed second edit. More flashy title. Post edited by Hecklemeister. Now, everyone knows that Shammy wines are seriously off the handle, dog. What is a handle, dog, anyway? Why is it off it? What's going on? I really have no idea anymore. Who knows? Lil Warriors, level 54 Gnome Warrior from the guild at Lil Vengeance. Ooh, they sound bad. Realm Thunderlord. Oh, yes. There's 2 posts in here. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, it's a 5 and a 2 and a 7 and a 3. Shams make absolutely no sense. ... Sigh. Okay, Shams, these are the most ridiculous thing in the world. Self-res, what the F? It doesn't make sense. A res would require mana. If you're dead, how can you have mana? Plus, how the hell can you cast? If you're dead, it just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Shams need to be nerfed. Like, I don't mean to get rid of them. Don't just make them able to do so many things. They can wear just about everything except class-specific armor. They can also use like any weapon. Use totems like insta-cast anything in the world. Like W2F is with you! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. OMG, you make no sense, Shammy. Congratulations, Shammy, you have won the award for stupidest class in the world. That all I have to say. Die, self-res, and ... a frost shocker. And here comes Kermakis. Oh no. So like I used to play D2 under the name Nip Tor, but like this gentleman lick Westburn me come to game. Oh, getting scarred, haha, for 2020 pallet torch. So I was like, OMG, WTF, and I whispered to my mate, OMG, like I'm getting 2020 pallet torch, haha, Neeb. So I went into the game and he said, show me your torch. And I'm like, how do I know you're trustworthy? He says, OMG, Ruffle, noob, I don't have a pally torch. You such a noob. Don't play WoW, Care Bear. So I took his friendly advice. One started to shame, and I don't like it, cause they seem to suck versus Pally, like they are immune to everything maybe, like Frost Shock is on cooldown, I'm totally pwned. So like a look over my list of grievances for the Shammy class, I'm finally grabbing to pull by the horse, please post blue. Let's raise some ground rules first, my list of rules, number 1, look it over, and 2, okay, we are ready. Okay, so let's start with the list. My list of grievances. 0. Shammy should have more stuns like Pallies. 1. Why do totems have reagents like I have to farm for like an half an hour just to get a wood for my stupid totems? It takes some freaking skill to instantly win out a totem mid-battle out there shotty wooden planks. 2, like, why does Pally's have spell that returns them to their home base and they, like, totally become invincible whilst donging it? 3, one time I heard that posting pics, like, really helps your argument. So, like, I have a picture for you guys. This isn't me getting owned by Pally. His name was kinda like mine, but it had bubble in it. As you can clearly, my Frost Shock was on cooldown, so I was basically screwed. So instead I made a fire totem, but I had to freaking sit there and carve it from my wood while he just hit me. Then I tried to war stun so I could get my Frost Shock off its cooldown. But Pally with either Elite Stun, Resist, Rachel resisted it. So my only option was to get pwned. To Earth to 200,000k Hammer of Death while a crowd of fellow Hordes watch and 4 poop socks. So anyway, I'm rolling Pally until the unforeseeable future, maybe if Jamies get puffed with like Oki rings or something. I give plus 3 talent points, then like we could be good again. P.S. Heck, I'd even settle for bull Calto rings, then I could have plus 1 all talents and maybe play my Shammy again. Yo, faux shizzle and so forth. This is Warcraft Radio. Oh god, I think my brain's just spontaneously minced itself. You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio, as we're calling it tonight. Open Please, because the topics are set by you. It's crazy talk, folks. It's like this whole communist thing we got going on here. Yeah, we'll take over your countries. Right. Now, a few shout-outs to go before I get on with it. I'll couple more topics in Imbecile of the week, and then I shall finish up for the night. Because there are far too many topics here, and I'd never finish them. I'd be up all night. Probably all day. And then any preceding nights and days. Right. Okay. My name is Nathan Rahl from Smodathorn, and I want to say thanks from the military personnel for WoW Radio and the WoW community for allowing us to make friends and stay in touch with cool people regardless of where our jobs send us. Oh, how sweet. It seems that recently Blizzard has been hyping up their new content more and more, and further in advancing causing the big risk of disappointment. What are your feelings of the hype for 1.9 versus, say, the hype that existed for Blackwing Lair? I think a lot of people's problem with 1.9 was their expectations were much greater. Also, the expansion is very hyped, and we don't even have complete information about it, including when it will actually come out. I feel that Blizzard should design content, inform us about it, and then put it out, not wait great lengths of time to build up expectations for something that may or may not live up to the greatness they make it out to be. In the end, when there is hype and mystery in the new content, such as the new Alliance race, it does more damage to the player base than help it. Discuss. Interesting. Maybe. Right. Hype is an interesting commercial tool, and when you're trying to keep people playing a game, hype is a very useful tool. Because, let's face it, the challenge for Blizzard now is not to get more players, but to keep people playing. It's true. So, how do you keep people playing? Well, new content. But how do you maximize the effect of your new content? Hype it, hype it, hype it. Say if I wanted to quit the game right now, yeah? I don't know what's coming in the future. It's 1.9. Are we going to get 1.10? Are we actually going to get a 2.0? Will there be a significant content update after this? What's going to happen? Now, there's scarce information. There is no information. I don't know what's going to happen, so I think, well, okay, there's nothing really worth staying for. I'll just quit the game now. But what if they release information? Something big is going to happen. There's going to be a massive world event. We're going to introduce a new class. We're going to have new professions, all that kind of crap. That'll keep you playing. Yeah. Hype is an interesting weapon. It's propaganda more than anything. Is it harmful to the community? Possibly, but then again, you've got to bear in mind, is it the fault of Blizzard, or is it the fault of the community themselves for being too easily led, for getting expectations up too high? 1.9, I didn't have all that many expectations. I haven't been into AQ yet, because it's not open. The patch itself was a bit of a meh. What I really liked was the fact that they let me allow me to conjure 10 crystal water in any given time. That's been a great help. But as far as the patch goes, there's nothing that really thrilled me there. Even the whole anchorage thing. I like the whole storyline thing. I like the fact that they actually led up to it instead of just releasing it. I mean, they didn't really lead up to Blackwing Lair, did they? Blackwing Lair was just dumped in there. There was no justification. There were no pre-quests. There's the attunement quest, and that's about it. There's no other thing about Blackwing Lair. Blackwing Lair is just there. Just there, and it wasn't there before. Is that acceptable? Maybe. But does it make it a little more interesting if you do hype it up, if you do get expectations and the mind works and thinks, ooh, what could be behind those gates? Especially with the anchorage thing. I do like the whole thing they've done with Silithus. Some people may view it as hype, and yes, of course it's hype. It's getting people excited. That's all hype is. The ability to get someone excited about something that isn't here yet. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. So yeah, I can see Nathan's point there, that he believes that hype can be harmful, but you've also got to bear in mind that it's people's responsibility, their individual responsibility, to decide just how excited and thrilled, or in fact disappointed they get. If Blizzard says, I'm going to do this, and then fails, then that's disappointment. But when it's a vague thing like the whole anchorage thing, they didn't promise that anchorage is going to be the best thing ever. No, not at all. They didn't promise that 1.9 was going to be the best thing ever. No, not at all. They didn't. It's a more vague thing. People actually create their own expectations, and that's not necessarily Blizzard's fault. Right. Let's see what else we've got here. How about Horde of Alliance? Is Horde of Alliance easy to play? Neither are easy to play. They're both pretty much the same as far as I'm concerned. I played quests on both sides, but I'd have to say that the Alliance quests are a little more interesting. The Barrens is just a really dull area to quest in. Right, let's have a look. Someone asked, I can't remember who, but someone asked the question, best racials. That's a difficult one. Let me put it this way. I mean, the whole human racial thing has become a lot more useful recently. When it was first released, who would have really picked a human for that racial? Who cares? Ooh, 5% faction, man. Now, it's like, ooh, I get my Zul'Gurub rep faster. I get my rep with Nozdromo, the Brood of Nozdromo. I get my rep with the Cenarian Hold faster. Heck, It's a good job that you don't have a human druid, otherwise you'd be exalted with Cenarian Hole in no time. Now that's become a very useful skill. A few months ago, actually no, let's just say back at launch, EU launch, I would have said that's useless. But now that they've put a lot more rep grinding into the game, yeah, that's a very handy skill to have. The new Berserking is quite nice. I wouldn't say it's the best skill in the game, but it's quite nice. Will of the Forsaken was nerfed, but it's still quite handy. Although it has sort of been phased out a little bit, because you can now get a trinket like that. It's not unique anymore, but it's still handy. What else? Night Elf skills, dodge, Shadow Meld. Shadow Meld with Hunters is Imber, and they shouldn't be allowed to use bloody aim shot in it, let me put it that way. It's horrible. Ugh. It's a nice skill, though. Dwarven Fear Wars with the Priests, very handy. The best skill? Well, it's got to be throwing specialization, clearly. That's the most useful skill in the game, and I'm not being sarcastic in the slightest. Right. Okay, someone asked me the question, where do you think the auction house cut goes? You want me to be quite honest? It goes nowhere. The only reason the auction house cut actually why does the auction house cut actually exist, come to think of it? Other than for the sake of, well, it's an auction house, therefore you should be paying money to use it. Transfer. It stops it being used for transfer. But it doesn't really, does it? Was that the intention? Possibly. But at least it costs some money to transfer. You can't transfer freely. Say, if you wanted to do an Alliance to Horde transfer, at least you are charged for it. It can't just be used as a glorified mailbox. Someone made the point about the whole thing now that you've got auction house in different cities. So I could effectively use the auction house to send an item to somebody. Instantly. The auction house cut may prevent me from doing that because it becomes costly. Perhaps it's just better to mail it. But then again, is there any really purpose behind it? Anything that is really, really affected by it? No. The auction house cut, you barely notice it. It's a little bit of money. It's not a massive problem. It's not a big issue. It's nothing anyone really gets riled over. Where does it go? To the goblins, because they're greedy. What can I say? It disappears. It's a money sink, a lot like any other thing in the game. It's a way to just get a little bit of money out of the economy, maybe. Right. Just a thought. This is from Nick Sheldon. Wouldn't it be neat if, say, a level 60 warrior had the ability to switch over to the Horde through a series of epic quests? Quests could be called Corruption. Hey! Hey! That would indicate the Horde are evil, and we all know that the Alliance are bastards. A whole lot of them. Another possibility would be a quest called Redemption, where you could retain your original side, whether Alliance or Horde. If implemented right, this could have an epic story behind it, just an idea. I don't see the problem with that. But then again, what you do get there is a possibility of massive server imbalance. Now, whereas some people may use it to change the side with the fewest people, what you'll find is people will often change to the winning side. If battlegrounds are being dominated by teams from the Horde, then PvPers on the Alliance may change over to the Horde to be involved in that. And what you get is a massive, great race imbalance, which is not a good thing, I tell you. Not a good thing at all. Chris Band says this. After the initial release of WoW around the world, its player base continues to grow, but for a pay-to-play game, can this continue at the same rate? With other games such as EQ2 and new games such as RF Online taking lessons from Blizzard's success, do you reckon the US and EU will continue to stick with WoW, especially in Europe, where there's never been so much of a market for MMORPGs before? Interesting idea. And I think someone actually made a really good comment. I can't remember who did it, but someone made a fantastically good comment about why WoW is so successful. It's because it's so accessible. It's easy to play. Not only is it easy to play, but it's... what would be the term? It's user-friendly. It is friendly to newer players. You can go in there and you can solo the content. It's not complicated. It's very easy to learn what you're doing. And it looks nice. It's got a very unique art style. And then the whole thing snowballed, because people will play an MMORPG because other people are playing. You don't play an MMORPG if there's not enough people to even constitute the word massive. It's a big RPG. Everyone's playing it. Therefore, 5 million people can't be wrong. Will it continue to grow at the same rate? Probably not. I think the growth rate will probably stem off as new MMORPGs are released, although I don't think any of the new ones will challenge it, basically because of a complete lack of hype. Only in the hardcore gaming community at the moment are people aware of titles such as RF Online, and Dark and Light, DDO Online, Middle-earth Online, Warhammer Online, blah blah blah. They're not hyped, which is why the success story of Warcraft is interesting. Because you don't generally see those kind of games becoming popular with the masses, as it were. They're generally the domain of hardcore gamers, whereas WoW is not like that. People outside of WoW know what WoW is. People outside of PlanetSide don't know what PlanetSide is. MMOs have generally been a very closed market. They're aimed at a very specific area of people, whereas WoW aimed at a broader slice of the population, which is why, in my opinion, it's so successful despite being a good game. It's shallow in some respects. There are elements of WoW which I think are really shallow, but it doesn't stop it from being a good game, and it doesn't stop it from being appealing to the masses. The expansion will give it another kick in the teeth. It will increase its popularity even more, and a good chance to hype it there, get it on TV. And overall, it's fun. And that's why people play it. It's fun. People enjoy it. Okay, I've just got enough time to get through Imbecile of the Week today, and then I'm going to be going. I've got a staff meeting, so I better attend. So, Imbecile of the Week. The Imbecile of the Week goes to Tessera. Now, Tessera is the founder of a group called the Mage Union Group, and I'm going to post you the link to the Mage Union statement. This is really funny. And just as an answer, Greyman, WoW has a dedicated radio show. Does any other game? Yeah, they do, actually. They're not as good as these ones, but they do. Right. Statement from the Mage Union. It's funny, because these guys are... Wow, I'm just amazed. These guys are so up themselves, and got so much bravado. It's like, we are standing up for the mage community. All 200 of us. Wow, it's 5 million players, and you've got 200 people in your little Yahoo group. Ho ho ho! Good stuff there. I'm scared. Oh, you've got animated GIFs as well. I mean, that's thrilling. You should have seen their group. They actually, I think they've closed their group down now. Oh no, can I get in there? No. Join the Mage Union. The last time I actually clicked on the Mage Union, I couldn't get access to it. That was about half an hour ago. And it was funny. When I did see it, it's just full of animated GIFs and really stupid text. Like, wow, you know, we're so fantastic. We're standing up to the machine of Blizzard. But no, you're not. You're whining. It's great fun here. I mean, I'm reading this statement here. They use lots of really long words. They must have stayed a long time writing this. Oh, here we go. See how many forum cliches you can post about. You can find about whiners here. I'll give you a hint. Every time I find a forum cliche, I will give you a ding, and then I will explain why. Right. Every person who plays World of Warcraft represents a paying customer. Ding. The paying customer argument, waving your $13 a month in the air like a righteous broadsword of infernal doom, come down to smite the people, smite the evildoers, slay them with blood and honor, for the glory of my class. No, it's a video game, really. It's $13 a month, it's the price of a pizza, get a grip, please, for your own safety. So long as every customer is paying the same monthly fee as every other customer, it stands to reason that all customers are entitled to an equally enjoyable gaming experience. Wrong. No, you're not. The game is what you make of it. If you don't enjoy your class, then re-roll another class. It's that simple. Blizzard are not obliged to give you fun. How can they do that? They can't, of course. It can't be done. You make the game. Blizzard may develop the game, but they certainly do not make it in the sense of enjoyment and fun. It must be equally enjoyable for all character classes across the board at all times. Yeah, whatever you say. Right. When you go into an FPS, yeah, you're playing a first-person shooter, is every weapon as enjoyable as the last one? If you're playing a strategy game, is every side enjoyable as the last one? No. You're playing a racing game, is every car as enjoyable to ride as the last one? No. You're playing a sports game, is every football team as enjoyable to play as the last one? No. It's not. I'm amazed. Like, you are obliged to give us all an equal experience. No, you're not. No, Blizzard are not obliged to do anything. They maintain the game. You are supposed to go out and find your own fun. You don't get it spoon-fed to you. Blithering spineless idiot. Yet it is not the case. The entire character class has become increasingly dissatisfied and angry. An entire character class? I'm not dissatisfied and angry, therefore an entire character class has not become increasingly dissatisfied and angry. You cannot speak for an entire character class. There's 200 of you. How many mages are there? Let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that the class balance is equal among 5 million players. So let's get the calculator out, because my mental arithmetic is poor. So, we get 5 million players here. Right, how many zeros after 5? That's 6, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 million players divided by 9 classes equals... Oh, that's interesting. That can't be right, surely. Oh yeah, it probably is. 555,555 mages. And there's 200 of you. Do you know how many that is? Do you know how many representatives of the Mage Union there are in the Mage Guild, assuming that there are 555... What was it? 555,555. There's too many 5s in this. Divided by 200. That's 1 in every 2,777.775 mages that are dissatisfied with their class. Oh, wow! Vocal minority for the lose. Who pay the same fees, and everyone has agreed to pay, blah, blah, blah. They go on and on and on about this, like we're second-class citizens. No. Don't be ridiculous. Game-breaking inequities that have often ruined our gameplay experience, such as... Name one. You can't just come out with this crap and expect people to fall for it. Oh, I used the word inequities, therefore we can't possibly be wrong. No, yes you can, because you've got no evidence. A one-dimensional class role has been considerably diminished in its effectiveness, both in our eyes and in the eyes of the overall community. Oh really, in the eyes of the overall community? Evidence now. Who is the overall community? In your eyes? Yeah, because you're retarded. In the eyes of the overall community? When? When is it? No, give me an example of when the overall community has stood up and said, oh, yeah, mages are not as powerful as they used to be, blah, blah. And they're useless, blah, blah. Bleh, whinge, whinge, whinge. A one-dimensional class role. Welcome to WoW. Every single class in an instant situation, bear in mind, we're talking about 60 here, that's where the balancing happens, is one-dimensional. Healers heal. Damage does damage. Tanks tank. The whole idea is it's supposed to be teamwork based. It's not about the individual, it's about you working as part of a team. And to do that, you may have to spam Frostbolt. Oh, this is great. Condescension, obfuscation, and neglect from Blizzard's representatives. What does that even mean? I've never actually heard anyone actually use the word obfuscation ever in real life. I know what it means, but I can't pronounce it because no one ever uses it. I never once had the need to use the word obfuscation in real life. Condescension. Yeah. They're being condescending because you're idiots. You damn fools. Threats from Blizzard's representatives when members of our community have expressed outrage. These threats amount to Blizzard bullying of their customers. No, they amount to them telling you, you're a moron. I don't agree with what you say, but I find the death to your right to say it. Therefore, I will disagree with what you say very, very strongly and call you out for it. You're a paying customer does not entitle you to be a blithering idiot. If you want to make a class concern, fine, but stop whining about it. Do you realise that an organisation such as the Mage Union makes our class, my class, look like a bunch of blithering idiots that don't know how to play? The impression that it's giving is that mages are a whiny class. They're not. It's just people like the Mage Union make it look that way. 200 members? Woo! Assume there's 555,555 mages in the game. Ugh. Roll another class. Yeah, please. If you don't like your class, re-roll. Oh, but Blizzard are obliged to make our class enjoyable. No, you're obliged to make your class enjoyable. If you don't like it, stop doing it. I'd love to see that. You go to the makers of a football company, say you go to Adidas, it's like, you were obliged to make this football enjoyable for me, despite the fact that I don't like football. Oh, yeah, that'll work. It's time for action. As the founder and leader of the Mage Unit, I call upon all members of the Mage community. Careful read and review the statements above. I carefully read and reviewed your statements above, and I've come to the conclusion that you're an idiot. This is to Sarah, founder of the Mage Unit group, recently banned for having 8 forum alts, which he, she, or it used to actually support his arguments. He'd make an argument, and then there's 8 forum alts reply and say, yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's right. He's right. He's... Oh, for the love of God. Whinging fools. Now, here's the great thing. Here's a really great thing, yeah? Seric, also known as one of the CMs. The CMs of the American boards. Just go in there, have a look. Seric kicks his ass and actually points out all these people actually belong to the same person. And says, you are not a freedom fighter, there is no fascist regime, this isn't politics, it's a game to Sarah, big difference. I couldn't agree more. One quick comment. Katamari says, TB, have you ever visited the Mage forums? I don't think so, you're the vocal minority. No. Have you ever visited the Mage forums? Are 555,555 Mages posting on that forum? No! There's a whole bunch of whinging idiots. 300, 400 maybe actively posting on that forum. Let's go and have a look at the Mage forum, shall we? Let's see. WoW Europe. Can we get access to the forums? Mage forums. Bear in mind, I don't post in this because it's full of bloody whinging idiots. Class forums, class forums, class forums. Mage. Mage, there we go. Now. Replies. Big threads. Some of the big class concerns. You know how many replies it got? 385. Out of 555,555 mages. Some of the biggest threads, do you know how many views they've got? Bearing in mind, views do increase every time someone looks at it. 50,000 on a sticky that's been around for ages. 50,000 views. Some of those could be non-majors. More than likely they are, because it's got a Blizzard reply in it. Therefore, people look at it. It could be the same person going back over and over again and over again. Of course it is. So, to be honest, am I the vocal minority here? No! Of course I'm not. You look at the Mage forum, you can see who the vocal minority is. The people whinging in the Mage forum. Everyone in the Mage forum is, in fact, the vocal minority. Because there's not enough of them. They are in the minority. Everything they say is a minority view. It represents their view and the few chosen sheep who decide to follow them. I say this about mages. Yeah, 10, 20 people agree. You're the vocal minority. You always will be the vocal minority, and anyone who posts on the forum is in fact the vocal minority, because the vast majority of the game players do not post on the forum. Therefore, anyone that posts on the forum is by default the vocal minority. Logic for the win. You've been listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Thanks for listening to my show tonight. Tune in to the Ancient of Lore tomorrow and check out our schedule. Brand new show coming out on Tuesday. Endgame with Tyram, dealing with endgame raiding. Oh yes. We have been without something like that for a very long time, and we listened to you. You said you wanted it. We gave you it. So tune in then. It'll be great, folks. After the downtime down under, it's Endgame with Tyram. Check out the rest of the shows this week. I'll be back at the same time next week, God willing. Sonata Act was always a good one to go out on. So I think Full Moon is on the cards, folks. Thank you for listening. It's good night for me. You've been listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please, one of World of Warcraft's longest-running podcasts and shows. You can check out all of the shows at wcradio.com. Be sure to dig us at dig.com if you like what we're doing, and rate us on iTunes. You can, in fact, download all of our other shows at wcradio.com. Click the downloads button at the top of the screen, and feel free to get involved in our forum community, also available on our website. Thank you for listening.